Henry McClure live. I got a lot of interesting comments on this post or a post, but I'm commenting. This is a video comment to the post, but the post was about how I believe that we need to redo how economic development is done, and I said we just need to really vote them all out. And I have zero faith. I have zero faith in our city council. I have zero faith in our city council. Let me say that again. Look at time, how time has marched on. Um, and look at let's look at the water department. And that's an indication of really the health of the city and how they do things. And what seems to be more prevalent than anything, besides our ability to have a city manager, I think there's a real problem for city employees wanting to even work at the city. I mean, I think there are a lot of positions that are unfilled. I mean, Steve Wade hired a lot of people, but did he hire them for the right reason? He's on, he's on the Tender app. Looks good to me. Swipe yes, whatever. It's kind of cool because there are some really cool people that have been hired by Steve. I mean, we're lucky. I will tell you that our director of planning is going to be a breath of fresh air. So let me say another thing real quickly. It's like we got to find people to come forward. We've got to find people to come forward and look when people are getting they're up for election. Start coming down to city council. Start stalking them. If the first person that's got to go is Karen Hiller. She sat up there too long. I don't know what she's ever done good. I do not know. Um, second person's got to go is our mayor. I think he is a good example of the Peter principle. And I think Neil Dobler needs to go into the good night. I mean, he may, from overall, be one of the most smartest and most qualified people, but I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what his motives are, or what direction this guy's going. So I got to tell you something here. Let me tell you why I named those two, Neil and the mayor. Um, we were in a meeting with the a lot of the department heads, and Dana K. Anderson was sitting in there with me, and there was they really wanted us to put together a big plan of how we would lay out 37th and Gage. And I've been on 37th and Gage for a decade. Well, even more than that, because it took 2 years for me to talk the Catholics into selling the land. You should have seen me meeting with the bishop. My language. But sinners are welcome in church. That's what I love about church. And um, so anyway, let's just say it's been like 12 years working on this project. And I just told Dana Kay, I said, look, forget that there's ever going to be a road that goes through this town. Now, the county commissioner, Bill Rapon, he thinks it's a good idea. And I really like Bill. He's a solid citizen. And I think that it would be good for the furthest part of Shawnee County to put that road in. But here's another thing, there's a group called the MTPO. And what we really need to do is we need to hold government accountable. So look up what the MTPO is and what they're supposed to do. Now, Marcus Miller just got elected or appointed to that bored. And I think as young as he is, he'll have gray hair, but I think he could make some changes. I think probably being on city council will gray you. Let's watch David Banks' hair. I think he might get some more gray hairs. Um, look, so I get a phone call at about 37th and Gage from a guy, a property owner, and he goes like, "Hey, when are you going to do some stuff around there? What are you going to do? You're not doing anything. When are you going to move some dirt?" And I did all this engineering. I'll post it. I'll put a link to it, all of it. I'll post it all up. But man, we spent a lot of money over at Cook Flat and Strobel, and I'd still like to build 100,000 foot warehouse there for God's storehouse because they've got an incredible mission. And I think it's the mentality of the Midwest. People, if you grew up in the Depression or your family did, you can't throw anything away. Well, you look at something, well, that might have some useful life. One man's trash is another man's treasure. And if you ever want to see um, Rick Clues and their family, go to their church on it's where the bar used to be at Fairlawn Plaza, the Lucky Dogs or whatever, Lazy Toad or something. I don't know. 8.5 years of sobriety. But so anyway, this property back to back to 37th and Gage. So the property owner calls me up and he goes, "Hey, I just met with the mayor and Neil Dobler." Yeah. He goes, they wanted me to do some fancy renderings and some plans and draw up what I want to do with my land. I go, "Well, did they talk to you about acquiring the right of way?" No. I mean, the most important those two guys can do is figure out what's it going to cost to buy the right of way. We've got to start putting a budget together. What's the right of way? I mean, I wrote when I owned part of the land with the Catholics, talked Dana Kay into letting me send the city a letter that we donate the land. Well, look, that's retracted. We're not doing that. We're not giving. But no, I would never say no. You can't. I would never go through the condemnation process, make them condemn the land, or maybe I would. We'll see. We've got about another 15 years of Dana Kay's focus. I want to make sure the last 5 years he doesn't, and it may take 15 years to develop that project the way Topeka, Kansas does stuff. I said, Dana Kay, let's just be lucky that Gage is a hard surface. Let's just be lucky. Here, let me turn this down. I don't know if you're picking up any background. Got Caddyshack going in the background. I met Rodney Dangerfield. Well, anyway, back to this property owner. And I said, "Well, hey, did they ask you about the right of way?" No, they want me to do the fancy drawings. And nothing really came of the meeting. And I'm telling you, I was so shocked about this guy telling me to get busy. I mean, uh, we we've made some modifications around there on that property. Spent a lot of money in engineering, cleaning it up. I'll get that burn pile burned up. And what's interesting, that burn pile, that big pile, that's actually out in the county land. So we're going to need to have our land annexed. Um, we got to go through the zoning. I'm not afraid of the zoning today. I mean, um, Dan Warner and he's a good guy. So this property owner again, tells me that 30 minutes after the meeting with Neil Dobler of Bartlett and West and of City Council and the mayor, Angela Sharp called wanting to get hired to do the drawings for Dave Herman. So, are we really promoting getting drawings done when we should be buying right away? Are you seeing what I'm saying? And what does it matter to me? They don't want to do anything. They don't want to do anything I come forward with, and there's going to come a point in time where that will backfire on them because I'm prepared right now to bring forward a proposal that benefits everybody in the real estate business. I don't want to pick and choose what I'm working on. I can't sell Topeka. Personally, I can't sell it. I wouldn't want to put some of my clients in deals here. Dana Kay even says, I regret ever buying that land in Topeka. And that is from an old friend that I've known since like fourth or fifth grade. What I want to do and all my efforts are to create an even playing field for everyone. And if I can get that changed and it spurs on development, I'm no worse for the wear. At least I can come in and get treated equally. Do others prosper so much because they don't have to play by the same rules? If you don't have to have a building up to code compliance, you don't have to put that capital up there. Does that make it easier for you to do other projects? That Chuck Doltmeyer, he's the horse to ride out in Lawrence Bay. He's got a dog in the hunt. He really says it's a lot better than me. He said it all. But then this pond debacle. How could anybody that's sitting on city council put specials on properties that are 5 or 6 years in arrears already in taxes? Guys aren't paying the taxes, but we're gonna fix your lake, and we're gonna. So the taxpayers, you and me, we're all paying for those people living around that fancy lake. We have zero news reporting in this community about the truth. This thing that they wrote, this TK magazine about Bring Back the Boulevard, what a bunch of sophistry. I'm serious. Bring Back the Boulevard, they haven't done anything for us. They're a bunch of do-gooders. I mean, they're trying. It looks like this Knox sign guy, he's all for it, and the first thing he did was sell a sign. You know something, in real estate deals, somebody's going to make money. So if it's all about who makes the money, because that's what Topeka is all about. It's about control and who are they gonna let succeed. And I've been successful in this community just being a real estate broker because you can't stop me from making a sale. Just play by the rules, you know. But this Bring Back the Boulevard debacle, it's insane. I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna put down some. Uh, hey, these aren't videos. This is news reporting. This is coming from my media channel, and I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Henry McClure Live. I'm gonna have to start relying on my media company to make money because it's impossible for me to sell. How can I bring how could I bring a big business into town when I've got to go through the city of Topeka's contractor? And that contractor really doesn't want to help you because They've got to justify their $1.9 million in overhead. Think about it. We approved this big sales tax to increase the population and make your sales tax go down. And of that, we spend $1.9 million so they can have good jobs. The best economic development we ever did was to pay a not for profit those big salaries. And why do we have a diversity and equity and inclusion person paid by Go Topeka? Why doesn't the head of Go Topeka march over to the city and talk to their person? They got three people. We don't need to be funding that position out of our sales tax. That's not economic development. It is not in the interlocal agreement. What's really nice about this energy that you're feeling, it's not out of anger. It's out of hope. Look, my recovery from alcoholism and drug addiction, and I don't know if I was so addicted to drugs. I mean, I just was a tourist. I was out there having some fun. But my go-to, I did have trouble. I could never. Sometimes I didn't know how to quit drinking. But if you'll notice my personality, sometimes I don't know how to quit a lot of stuff. Like talking about change. So, man, if I can change, well, we can change. And we're going to have to work all hard and together to change our government. We've got the wrong people running it. What I like about David Banks, he came up through the fire department. Michelle Hofer, she's a business lady, a perfect business for Topeka. She builds monuments. We ought to we ought to get a monument built from her company about the death of Topeka Boulevard. If you want to know who's bringing back Topeka Boulevard, talk to Blake and Sterling Scott, talk to Mainline Printing. Those are the guys bringing back the boulevard. The engineers, the outside engineers of this city are killing our city. In closing, one thought, we've got to downgrade Highway 24 as it goes through the city of Topeka, or maybe just all of Shawnee County. We need to take that road away from KDOT. Can you imagine Howard Paul bought some land, got it zoned C4. He is unable to put the second Brahms location up on Highway 24 because KDOT killed the deal. Far too much government in the South. If somebody knows Laura Kelly, I mean, I know her. I don't know if she'd ever listen to me. Well, I guess I can make it to where she can't not listen to me. I wanted to, I volunteered to take over Vic Miller's spot when he got in a little trouble legally. Talked to Vic the other day. His hourly rate's $3.50. Because if you ever wanted to have a battle with the city of Topeka, you'd hire Vic Miller. Vic, for some reason, is a real warrior against the city of Topeka. You want to make change in this city, you got to get involved. This is not a one man job. Henry McClure saying goodnight. I love you.